Welcome back, FF family. This is the Freedom Finances Show. We're on episode 13, and this is all over the investment draft. So today, my name is Dylan. I'm going to be your host today with Nick and Bradley, as previous episodes. What I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be moderating this draft. I'm going to look at positions, do the back-end work to make sure these two lug nuts know what's going on, make it fair and square, and I'll be better than the rest with the Chiefs. So, looking into this, so first off, to start us off, we're going to do a little something different. With this show, I want to ask both of you something, a little bit of an icebreaker. What's something good going on in your life? Nick, go first.
Recently I decided to go back to school at 35 years old, and I just finished my last class, and I'm waiting on my official bachelor's degree in business administration to arrive in the mail. So I just graduated. So
to pin on to that, was that through your work?
Yep, sure did.
Perfect. I always encourage everybody. Gotta hand it to Bradley, as always. He gave me the advice before. Always look through your work. Sometimes they offer college benefits like what Nick and Bradley has taken advantage of. Bradley, go ahead.
Yeah, I would try to steal with what he just said because I'm trying to do the fast track for a master's. But I'll pick something different. This is kind of nerdy, but something good is Nick, you're gonna love this. I've been reading a bunch of books on the economics of the 1910s and 1920s, and it's really helped me with some things I'm working on for the website, for Freedom Finances, for our podcasts and things in the future. So I'm pretty excited about that. One of the books.
For those of you who don't know,
Calvin Coolidge, right there by Amity Schlaze. Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
No, if you don't know about Bradley, he loves to curl up with a good book on Saturday nights. So very on brand. I love it.
You're welcome.
Wow, that was the most boring thing I've ever heard in my life. No, but congratulations to both of you. That's awesome. Something for me, heading back to the gym. I'm officially on my month and a half day. I would go to the boxing gym, and I've also been doing arms and legs on the off day. So it's been really fun.
Legs, nice.
Yeah, leg day was today, so it's been interesting. I saw some improvements. We'll see how that goes. I'm excited to see where I am in the next couple months. Okay, so back to the draft. So what we're going to do is, because of the process of elimination, about 5 coin flips, because of Nick not liking the coin flip outcome, to the process of elimination, Bradley has gotten the opportunity to go first.
I won regardless.
That's true. He owns the rights to everything here. So they'll be going first, and then Nick will go, and then I'll also change up who the pick goes. In the background, like I said before, I'm going to be making sure that I'm handling all the back end to make sure we're in line, who has what stock, so if there's any questions, concerns. And I may, during this time, pick on their brains of, hey, why'd you choose this? What are your next options? Without giving it away. So, Bradley, start us off, and we'll get going here.
All right, I am starting off with this is a fun one, Fidelity Zero Market Index. It's a Fidelity mutual fund with some pretty good coverage. It just follows the S&P mostly, but FZ rocks. That's me. I have it in real life and in my IRA, and I'm up, I don't know, like 25% over the last 18 months or so, which I feel is pretty good. The market moves since 1900 up about 11.5%, so it beats that. Obviously, only over a short time of 18 months, but that's what I'm going with for the first one.
Awesome. Nick, you're up.
All right. I'm going to go, if you've read any of my articles, you probably know I'm a fan of this one, but I'm going to go with some VOO, or VOO, Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. I think it's a tried and true, probably similar to Bradley's reasoning. It just keeps going, up and to the right. So I love it. It's consistent over time. It's boring and it makes you money if you're just willing to wait it out. So I'm going some good old VOO.
No game stonk. Got it. All right, Bradley, back to you.
Okay. I'm trying to think where Nick will go next, and if I should pick something that he won't. He will pick.
While you're on that, Nick, if you're feeling gracious enough, what do you think he's going to go for? You don't have to necessarily name it, but what do you think? Is he going to go safe pick, crazy pick? What do you think?
I don't know. He went pretty safe, so maybe he'll go maybe something a little crazy. I see him, eyeing the Trump meme coin, maybe.
Hey,
who knows?
Okay, I'm going to go... I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Coca-Cola and go dividend.
Yeah, good idea.
As you talked dividend. About last time, Nick, dividend aristocrat. I don't know. I just feel like you're gonna take it, and it's also boring, and it doesn't really gain much, and it's all about dividends. So I'm gonna go with a fund in FZ Rocks and Coca-Cola with a dividend. That's where I'm going.
All right, Nick?
Yeah, not going to lie, I was going to go for Coke. So I was hoping you weren't going to see that. So you know what? I think I'll still go for Coke in an ETF that I like to call the good old Noble Fund, NOBL, which is a fund of all of the dividend aristocrats. So I have Coke along with a bunch of other companies that consistently pay out dividends, increasing every year for the last 25 years at least. So very consistent fund. I'm pretty sure I beat you in our last game of Pick the Stocks with Noble. So I'm going to go with tried and true Noble on this one.
Just to be very clear, I want to put my 2 cents in. I chose GameStop to show people how bad of an option that is, just to make sure everyone knew. I would never invest. I always pick the best. Well, hey, Bradley, just because of that, I'm throwing a wrench in here. Nick, you get a second pick.
Oh, yeah, and Dylan, you're looking so good today. Thank you so much. Okay, for my next pick, let's go. You know what? We talked about them in our last podcast. I'm going to go Netflix. I think they're making smart moves. I think they've got some upward potential. I think there's some future plays with some dividends that's possible. I'm going to go Netflix.
If anyone is interested on the Freedom Finance's website, Nick does have a good article, Dividends, the real passive income. Bradley, I'm gracious. You can have
do I get to go now? Thanks. All right. I'm gonna be a total loser. I'm gonna be a total loser and take a 5-year CD from U.S. National Bank that has a 4.6 return rate. I know that technically if the market moves at around 11% per year, 4.6 is less than that, but it's one I'm just going to take off the board.
Okay, perfect. All right. That was your 1. What about your 2?
All right. I am going... I'm going to do another dividend. A company that's been in the news lately. I'm going McDonald's. And I feel good about it. And I'm pretty excited about my next couple of choices because I feel like I've taken some of Nick's strategy off the board. So very safe, a little bit of movement, a lot of dividend, a lot of almost guaranteed growth, and I'm going to rock it from here.
So Bradley, kind of explain where you feel so far with everything. What are you most worried about if Nick's going to pick something? If you want to give a little insight to where you're fearing right now.
I can't say because he might steal
it. All right, good feedback. Nick, you get a double again, so pick your 2.
All right, so this next one, I think I mentioned I like Netflix because of a lot of smart moves they're making. I'm picking this next one for kind of the same reason, but I'm going to go Amazon. I think they're changing up some of their membership, structures, some of their return processes. I think things that will ultimately lead to a better bottom line, and I can see some more growth coming. So I'm going to go Amazon for my next pick.
Noted. Second pick.
All right, second pick. Oh boy, let's see. which of these companies will still be around in 5 years? No, I'm just kidding. You know what? I'm gonna go to my employer. I'm gonna go with some T-Mobile stock. I think, I think they've grown, like 65% in the last year, something like that. I think there's still some growth to go. I'm gonna go some TMUS.
All right.
Noted. All right, Bradley, this is the part I was going to tell you you're going to feel bad because it's another change up. You're getting the next 3 picks.
Me?
Yes.
Oh. Let's go. Let's go Berkshire Hathaway, BRKB. That's the good fund that everyone likes to talk about from, what's his name, Warren Buffett. And let's take NVIDIA off the board. I'm surprised it's still on the board, if I'm being honest. And do I really get one more?
Yeah, you get 3.
Dang it.
Because now at this point, it's like it evens up from before, Just math. I'll tell you later.
Shut up.
Okay.
Let's go Tesla.
All right. TSLA.
I'll
now
say
Nick,
right now I have 8 of my top 9. I got 8 of my top 9. VOO Nick took from me. I'm feeling pretty good.
All right. Nick, to even us up, you get the next 2.
Okay. Boy, Bradley definitely took some good ones. I got to give it to him. You know what? I'm going to throw a little volatility in there. I'm going to go Bitcoin.
Damn it. that was my next one.
Hey, if you invested 100 days ago, right? You got one more.
All right. Let's see. I'm looking at my mix. I want to be diversified. Let's see. You know what? This one, I'm just going to go with my gut a little bit and think, hey, what are people going to continue to need and rely on? I'm going to go Starbucks. I don't see people, giving up their morning cup of Joe. So I can see some solid, years ahead for Starbucks. So let's throw that into the mix.
Noted. For the rest of the event, it's back and forth. We got 3 picks. Bradley, you're up.
Okay. I am going. Let's do Google. I'll take Google yet. Yes.
So the old Google.
I feel very good about it, especially after looking at Nick's reaction. Google's good because it's more growth. It's top 10 in the S&P 500. So I feel pretty good about it.
Nick?
All right, I'm gonna go financial institution here. I'm debating between 2. You know what? I think there's better value with Wells Fargo. I'm gonna go there.
I have that too. JP Morgan Chase is the biggest bank in the U.S., if not the world, if I'm not mistaken. But Wells Fargo might be a better, investment for the draft. But I have them too. Smart move.
Perfect. All right. Before we continue,
yes,
let's do a pause. Bradley, how do you feel so far?
I feel like I knew I was going to miss out on VOO, and Nick got it, and that was okay. I feel a little annoyed that Nick took Bitcoin. That other than that, I feel amazing. I got 8 of my top 10. Nick just took Bitcoin and VOO, so I feel very good after that.
All right, Nick, I'll come to you after this. Bradley, take your next pick.
All right, I am going. Let's go. Let's do some Facebook. Let's go Meta. Meta?
Meta.
I think it's Meta.
It's Mater.
Meta. We're doing Meta.
All right, Nick, couple questions for you here.
Yeah,
First one, how do you feel so far?
I think The only two I'm a little jealous of is Nvidia and Tesla. I'm a little like, the rest
I
of
took
them,
those
I
back
think
to back too.
you did when Bradley gave you three choices. Like, what kind of game are we
It's
playing?
even out. Come on.
But yeah, I think the rest of them, I mean, good stocks. I'm not like sad that I didn't get them or anything. You did take, my KO and you took my CD, which, but I don't think
You're welcome.
4.6% is going to win any, games for you or anything. But I think I feel good. I've got a solid mix. I'm diversified. Yeah, no, I'm feeling good.
And
Nice.
reminder, Nick, here's your second part. Not necessarily a question, but just a reminder. Bradley has one pick left. You have two. Are you going to try and, is it this cup or this cup? Like, are you going to next level snipe his pick? Or are you going to stick to your guns and keep it to what you were going to pick? Go ahead.
Okay. I think I am going to go in a field that I don't have any representation in here, and that's going to be the medical field. Let's go Pfizer.
Pfizer.
I have Pfizer on my do not pick list.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's hear it. Why?
Pfizer and Starbucks are both on like the list of like I hope he picks them because I don't want them. Pfizer because it's such an erratic business, and especially with like the political climate that over the last 5 years, and like potential like future economic and policy in the U.S., I wouldn't touch Pfizer at all. So yeah,
hey,
they're on. Thank you. You can take it.
Well, Bradley, your final pick, and then we'll go on to Nick's final pick.
Ford. Picking Ford. Yeah.
Ooh, the big F. All right, Nick. What do you got?
Well, I just want to say Ford was definitely on the list I hope Bradley would pick. So, a dividend aristocrat that fell off the list. But anyways, let's round out my final pick. Oh boy, so many good ones. You know what? I don't think anybody has gone. No, is Google still open?
Yes. Or no. I took Google. I took Google.
Yeah.
Did you take Google?
Yeah, I took it at 8.
Oh, gee. Okay, well, that makes sense then. All right, well, you got Google. Let's go.
Good man. Just
I was like, how is that still available? It's not. Okay. You know what? Let's go tried and true. I'm gonna go Walmart.
Walmart. Okay.
Little Wally World.
Now that we've finalized our picks, want to go over both of you. Overall, how do you feel? Nick, let's start with you. Top to bottom, you don't necessarily go every single one, but how do you feel overall? What's your strongest picks? Why? What's your weakest picks? Why? Tell us.
Yeah, I think strongest picks, just based off timeline, I'm going to go Vu and Noble. I think I'm going to get consistent long-term returns there. I think I've got a couple, Bitcoin I think could make or break it. Let's be honest. So that's a kind of a high-risk gamble.
Uh-huh.
I think, I might agree somewhat with Bradley on the Pfizer. I think Starbucks is probably going to be a little bit more stable and consistent. We'll see over time. But yeah, I think overall I've got some decent choices. I think I've definitely minimized my downside risk for sure. Where I think, if I can just hold steady and get a little gains, Bradley might be holding some things that might depreciate in time. So we'll see what happens.
Fair
Bradley,
enough.
same to you. What's working your best? What's the worst? Tell us why.
Well, I think I like that like FZ Rocks is a good mutual fund, Coca-Cola is a good dividend, and then I've essentially guaranteed money with a CD. And then another dividend with McDonald's, another good fund with Berkshire Hathaway, and then my next 4 are all solid growth tech stocks in the top 10 of the S&P 500. Tesla, Nvidia, Google, and Meta are all good So I feel amazing. I do feel like I shouldn't have picked Ford. I should have picked Visa instead, but Ford was like, it was there sitting there for me. So I regret Ford at 10, but other than that, I feel amazing.
For me, my only picks I'm surprised you guys did not go for. I'm surprised Verizon's on there. That's a great dividend stock. I personally have that in there.
Okay. Hang on.
Okay.
So I have actually invested in Verizon, and I held them for probably 2 years, and they did nothing but go down over 2 years. And I kept thinking, oh, that dividend, it's going to hold me, and they just kept falling. They have irritated me a little bit with their stock just declining, and I could not. I sold out of them. I finally took losses, and I said I'm not doing Verizon anymore. So there was no way I could have put them on my list. They just lost me too much money in real life.
I agree. I had T-Mobile above Verizon, and like I've messed around like with Verizon, T-Mobile, Dish, AT&T, and T-Mobile's the best of all of them when it comes to growth and investment. So I agree, but Verizon is tempting just because it's out there, like it's a big name, and it's just out there to take. But I held off, but I agree.
The other one I was surprised, and this is, I don't know, it's just a big name that just wasn't mentioned at all or talked about, was Uber. I feel like Uber's kind of stayed the test of time, so maybe you guys can provide some insight not picking that one.
Well, I'll talk. I don't know how much you've heard about like Uber and stuff, but they've gone through a lot of just bad reviews from internal employees, and just the entire structure I think is not really structured well. I think maybe they're around in 5 years, maybe somebody does it better. I don't know. I've heard a lot of bad stuff with just how their business is structured, and just some fundamental things that really would turn me off. Maybe there's some value there. I don't know, but I don't know. It's very risky in my opinion.
I agree in the sense that Uber to me both has a high ceiling and a very low floor. Like
Gotcha.
To the basement, they might not be a company in 5 years. But if they, like Tesla's doing so much with self-driving cars, if Uber somehow attaches itself to that technology, and that would make their employee base even more angry, like Nick said.
Yeah,
like they
absolutely.
Essentially got rid of employees. That's heartbreaking for employees, but it could be a good business model if you have 0 employees. So I think they have like a pretty high ceiling where they could potentially do something, but that could also be, you cut your money in half in 2 years from now, or you could double it in 2 years from now. So it's just so high. It's such a high risk.
Like I always say, 60% of the time works every time. All right, well, that was fun, you guys. I'm glad we were able to kind of get the draft done, and I'm glad you guys had some good time. So before we go, I'm going to lay out some of the fine print of today's draft, but what do you two have? Anyone's open to any comments, suggestions, concerns, advice for the audience? What do you have for us today?
I'll start. I think that, like, when I did my list, I looked at good value and good funds that get us to a point where, like, this is something I would actually do in my stock portfolio, and I probably have most of that right now. I think maybe like 2 of them I don't have. Like, I don't have that specific CD, but I do have CDs. So I think like when you look at the facts, you look at it's what 11.5% over the last 120 years is how much a stock goes up annually on average basis. So it's important to understand that, like, that's an average, so you kind of need time on your side to actually win money. You're not going to get fast from it. Like, every once in a while we'll see like Tesla or Nvidia spike up 100% over a month. That's lucky, but even Tesla has dropped back down another 15-20% over the last week or so.
I'd say for me, I think my investment strategy has always been to minimize losses. I think you can see that a lot in some of the choices that I've got.
Yeah.
But I'm also very competitive, and I want to beat Bradley. So there are some stocks in there that, like I wouldn't typically invest this much in Bitcoin, but you know what? I really want to beat Bradley, and I know that a 4.6% CD ain't going to be the thing that beats him. Sorry, no jab there for you.
Whatever.
But it is a great investment option. I just, I'm competitive. I want to win. So there are a couple, higher risk stocks in there. I would just, advice for any of the listeners. There's, be careful. There's always downside risk in any investment option. And, if you're going to do something risky, just understand that, that could lose some of your portfolio value, and make sure that you understand your risk tolerance. There's been plenty of times I've sold out of a trade where I've lost on for that to go back up later, and I kick myself for selling out early, so just, have a strategy, stick to it. And I think I've got a strategy that's going to beat Bradley. So we'll see how that goes.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, everybody. So just to close this out, as a reminder of the rules and kind of guidelines for this. So this is going to be a quarterly result. So starting now from 3 months from now, we're going to see the results of who becomes the winner. To be the winner, it's the highest dollar amount will win. So if, Nick loses $100, Bradley loses 99, Bradley wins. So however that happens, or the opposite, Nick wins if, over $100 and Bradley only gained 99. So some other stipulations with this, we're giving a total of $100,000 to split evenly amongst the 10 stocks. Cross the I, dot the T. That means you have $10,000 per stock to invest in. So I can't wait to see where this goes. We'll give some updates on our next episodes. We'll see how everyone's kind of coming together and see if we're still feeling as confident. And man, I really want to win as much as we did today. So if there's nothing else, guys, it's been nice having you. Thanks for everyone who's watching today, and we'll see you next time.
Adios.